Welcome, everybody. We got some special things happening this week on the Photo Booth Magazine live stream series. Are you guys ready for it? We have Mr. James Trivlis from Curator with myself and Mr. Dave Stevenson. What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
What's up, Dave?
Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? This time of year, everything blurs together.
I know, literally. It has been so busy. I mean, we're all coming off of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so it's been nuts for all of us, I think.
Yeah. The last time we were going to have you on, there was a huge hurricane.
Yes, thankfully we survived the hurricane. Hallelujah.
Yeah, right? And then another one came in November, right? You're just a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, can't catch a break, let me tell you. But we were lucky, actually. We were blessed. My father-in-law was the only one that lost his fence. Thankfully, we did not have any damage, and I was very sad to miss the meeting, obviously, and be on here. But we didn't have any internet. I didn't have internet for a few hours, actually. That entire night was dark, so I had no choice.
It was relaxing, I bet, for a change, because you're busy.
It was very relaxing not to be, well, I still had my computer on, so I would like to say that was not the case, but it is. I was still on the computer. Lovely.
So what did you have, like a generator, one of those jackeries that everybody's got?
No, so it went out, obviously, for a few hours. It kept on flickering, going out and in. So obviously the internet kept on going out and in. But it didn't stay off the entire night. It came back on late at night because I'm on the East Coast, so we didn't have too much damage. It was not too much of a loss in terms of electricity and all that. Look at that. We even have little messages popping up. Hi, Carlos. I love this. Oh, Rex. Oh, wait, look, it's Santa James. Uh-oh, there it goes. Oh. Rex, were you told to say that, Rex?
No, he's psychic.
That's hilarious. Good man. I love Rex. Love you, Rex.
Some people like to instigate around here.
Right?
Yes, literally. Listen, we take pictures for a living. That's what we do. I always, at the bottom of my email, it says I'm a creator of smiles. There we go. Nice one, Dave. But when you think about it, if you can't laugh doing the job that we do, we're doing something wrong.
Oh, absolutely. We're entertainers. You gotta have a sense of humor.
Literally. I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy it. So, but yes, thank you very much for.
I laugh every day when I go to get up in the morning and I look in the mirror. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Let's do this. No, I wouldn't have
coffee. Oh, good man.
Welcome to the clown show.
Rex can't even swear, but thank you, Rex, for not swearing.
He wants you to turn me into Santa Claus again. That's what he wants. I knew you were going to do that too.
Just one more.
Ho, ho, ho. I'm going to move around.
You're making it difficult on me. See, I'm not as good as Curator, so because I've got to manually move this over. Can you imagine if you had to do a photo booth and you're sitting there trying to drag the props around everybody? And that's one of the magic things about Curator is you guys have programmed such an amazing thing, and we're going to talk about it's not just a thing; it's more than just an app, right? So at least you consider it is. But
Curator is a lifestyle.
Oh yeah,
it is now. Orange. It's an orange lifestyle. So yes, I live, breathe, and will die orange. So I'll leave it at that. Like the
orange. Orange is the new black. I think. I think that's what I heard.
Yeah. Wait, I can change the color of the background. You want me to do that? No. All right. But no, all right, you're right. I mean, Curator is a lot more than just an app. And I think, before actually we were even on, we were having a conversation. It's funny because today I was asked to define what Curator was because we're working with some people. I'll let that be said, but that's all. Helping us with a few things. And, all of us in this industry utilize technology every day. Whether it's Curator or our competitors or even things that help you print or, allow you to do a slideshow or whatever that might be. But it's hard to explain to people about all the tools that we do. And I'm not talking about just Curator because it's like, yeah, I use this for a slideshow and I use this for a sharing station. Oh, and by the way, I use this to control my lighting if I'm a DJ, or I use this for my photo booth And I have external lights, so I need to use this in order to control those. So there's so many pieces to the pie in each of our businesses that we have to control. So when I started to think about what Curator is, and in reality is, it's a lot of that. It's an all-in-one. I mean, that's what originally we didn't build it that way. Originally we built it to be individual apps, but we've since changed that model, and it's one app. And our goal is to make one app that provides as much value as possible to the entrepreneurs out there that want to grow their business. And that's the idea. Yeah. Just to answer your question.
One app to rule them all.
Yes, that's true. Yes. So, I mean, it's, photo booth, slideshow, sharing station. And again, I don't want to go in here and talk about that, but, in terms of the functionality, we were talking about, what is it that Curator does? And you made reference to the digital props. Let me go back real quick about 5-6 years ago, before I had a beard. And I was telling the story earlier, but I'd met Dave and let's just call it the old gangsters of photo boothing, hanging out at Photo Booth Expo. I know, Dave's like, who? I don't know.
Fedora hats, chino pants, wingtip shoes, cigars.
Who are you? And I just remember all these people, all these guys, like, and you guys were like gathering together. And I just remember meeting you, and you guys were first. I was blown away at how welcoming everybody in the industry was. I mean, they didn't know who the hell I was. They didn't know what we did or what we were going to do. But one of the first things that our claim to fame actually was the digital prop. We were the first ones in the industry to have digital props. And since then, we carried that title for 2 years before the next app actually even had that. And, we went from there to other things, which, then we were the first to launch Magic, actual segmentation, background removal, similar to what we're doing here. Originally, we did it with where you needed internet. You needed an internet connection to do it. Now, you do not need that. We do not charge you credits. It is included in the software. You could use it. And it's now full body segmentation, which is incredible in itself, because it's no more just, hey, here's my face and it cuts off my hair or my hands don't work. Yeah. It works now with hands. I think Dave made a few comments.
I remember those photos. I have some customers that had those.
Exactly. And it was funny because, people would be there, they'd be smiling, they'd have their daughter in their hands, and they'd be smiling as if they should have their daughter in their hands, and you couldn't see their daughter because their daughter blended in with their shirts. Yeah. So it was quite funny. And that was, we all of us apps, we start here and then we progress and, we make things better. And, thinking about where we are now, even with the segmentation, it blows my mind. Magic is green screen quality now. It is, people go out. Actually, this past weekend, somebody emailed us thanking us because she literally forgot her green screen an hour away at an event, and she forgot her green screen. And she called me. She's like, what can I do? I know you guys have this Magic. I've never done it before. How do I use it? I said, well, it's just a quick switch, just, little checkbox. She did it, got an email back from her, and she was thanking me like, oh my goodness, this was just as good, if not better than green screen. It was incredible. And it just blew my mind that, a lot of people don't try it. And are hesitant to test it out because they think it's the same technology that it was 4 or 5 years ago, which it's not. I mean, it's incredible. A lot of the, so I don't know. But yeah, what other questions can I answer before I get into some juicy things?
I think you hit on some really important points, that there's a lot of things in that platform and a lot of other apps out there too. One of the things that, we as business owners have to do is every once in a while go and test these new features and see how they can add services or better the experience for their clients. I'm guilty of that as much as the next guy, but absolutely. I have made it a point to every once in a while at least go in at least once a month and see, okay, what is this new thing? Or here's something that's been there for a long time that I haven't touched yet. It's important to do that. And there's so much in there, and it's cumbersome. And you guys do have, we discussed about this before, a nice knowledge base that people can refer to, right?
We do. Let me just point something out. So I was at PBX last year when somebody had asked me, it's like, why you, and obviously I just answered that question. And I said, honestly, I don't want to tell you why me. I would rather you, hey, Nikki, we love Nikki. But I just posted inside of a group this yesterday, actually. Somebody was saying, why this company or this company? And we were one of the companies. And my exact reply to that was test them all. Go out there, get a free trial. You can use it, but take advantage of the trial. Take advantage of the onboarding and the training if they offer it. We spend a minimum of 30 minutes to an hour with everybody that joins. We're willing to do that. We have an 800 number that you can call and get a live person on the phone. I don't care what time it is. You call the 800 number. We will answer. It's probably because I'm chasing one of the 3 children that I have around the house, but we always call back. And if it's not me, it's Allie or Amber or Jesse, etc. So I don't know. Dave gets this. I think Dave has this vision of me running around the house after my kids.
I've seen the pictures and the videos, so I do know you do run around the house with the kids. So
I do. I absolutely do. Great question in terms of beauty filter coming soon. Beauty filter, yes. I'll get into that BPM entertainment in a bit. All right, we'll go into that in a bit once I start showing off some of the new things. Which, if you're listening in, everyone, I won't be going into a lot of the new things, but I will be giving a glimpse of what will be possible. There is a release coming January 9th. As of right now, it will be January 9th for the website, as well as some updates, minor updates in the app, because the app actually has a lot more ability than everybody has access to at the moment. Mm-hmm. But we're waiting until the fourth quarter to get through all this. We do not, one thing I learned actually from our competitor. Our competitor had a big mishap during the holiday season. The one thing I don't do is I don't screw around with people's businesses. I'm not launching anything in the middle of the fourth quarter. Nothing new is happening. If anything gets pushed or anything new, it's very small things. And that's for our customers' sake, not for mine, as much as I want to release. It also gives us a chance to keep building up new things and being able to, at the end, say, hey, look at all this new stuff we got. So that's the fun part. But where was I going with this? Forgot to... Yeah. Wait, for someone that's done it all, virtual props, magic screen, what can we see in the future from Curator? Rex, you'll see it soon. I'll go over it in a bit. But, Art, what was the question you asked me? I forgot. It was, I thought there was a question you asked me.
Well, one of the things that we were going to talk about, which it seems like it's the theme of the last few episodes, and the reason why I keep bringing it up is because people are still talking about it, and that's wired versus wireless printing, and there's a lot of kind of still investigation going into wireless printing. I was consulting or just, chatting back and forth with someone on Facebook Messenger, asked me about, can you use DNP WCM2 to wireless printing? I'm like, sure. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to get an iPad with 5G on it. I'm like, and I'm thinking that's perfectly fine. Turns out it wasn't working. He contacted you, and you're like, contact DNP, and DNP said no. So wireless printing. I want to get your take on that a little bit here.
Well, yeah, sure. So first, let me give a tip to everybody, because I gave this tip to several customers, as well as manufacturers that do trade shows. Mm-hmm. A lot of the weddings and bar mitzvahs and so forth take place inside of venues that have a old Ethernet connection plate somewhere inside the venue. 9 times out of 10, that Ethernet, if you plugged a router into it, it will work, which means you now have a hardwired, secure internet connection that you can utilize with your own router. Mm-hmm. I tell everybody, go out there and go buy yourself a $30 cheap router from Best Buy or Walmart or wherever. Configure it at home with your username and password so you know. Then disconnect it and put it in your toolbox every time you go to an event. Mm-hmm. So if you go to a Holiday Inn or some, wherever it is, and you're doing an event at the Hyatt or whatever, look around the room, take a gander. If you see a box, just plug it in. 9 times out of 10 it'll work. What does that do? One, it gives you a reliable connection that you have access to, that you're the only one that has access to. It's a direct connection to your app, as well as a secure network that you can now print with, if you're printing wirelessly, okay? Now, in terms of printing, because that is one of the pieces of the pie, we talk about network. Printing, I always tell people when I get on the phone with them, printing sucks until you understand how to do it. And once you understand how to do it and you understand what can go wrong and how to fix things, it's easy. Like Dave, you've said to me earlier before we jumped on the phone, you've been using a Surface Pro with the print server and no issues. There are so many people out there that print. And I would probably say more people that print now than ever have before.
Mm-hmm.
There are wireless printing methods, which we have our own print server, and I could show you in a bit. There is where if the iOS device, the iPad or iPhone, is on the same wireless connection as the computer, whether it's a PC or a Mac, they communicate with each other. Very easy. But at an event that has 10, 15, 100,000 people, that network can get diminished, and that's where you can have some issues.
Right.
So then comes the question of, and I always get this, can I just plug the iPad into a printer? No, you can't. But what you can do is you can plug the iPad directly into a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have a Mac, it is with the Curator Live app. I can't speak for all the rest. You can plug the iPad into either a USB hub or directly into your computer running our print server and have the printer connected to the computer. You will have a wired connection that does not fail, that allows you to print directly from the app to the print server to the printer. Okay. So even if you killed internet on that iPad, it will still work. Now that works with a Mac. If you have a PC, you could do the same thing. There's just two methods that you, two things that you would have to do. It's in our knowledge base, one being converting the connection into an Ethernet connection, or two, connecting it via USB and turning on the hotspot function on the iPad and allowing the computer to use the wireless connection through the USB channel. Okay, so there are ways. When I print, which I don't do events, but when we do shows, I do two things. One, I bring my own router. That's number one. Okay, I try to do what I just told you earlier. The second thing that we do is we print wired. I have my little Mac, cheap little Mac, and I just plug it in. It literally is as easy as that. And it's fast. You know, we talk about the DMP module. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I use it. I've used it, but it has its issues. One being that it can be initially slow. It speeds up over time, but it is a bit slow. We already know that. That's known throughout the industry. And I'm okay with that when you consider if you're doing a regular wedding or bar mitzvah, you're not needing to print photos out that quickly anyway. You don't need to get them there. But the other thing being that, what is it? I lost my train of thought. So that little device, if you have internet directly on your iPad, you can't use it. It doesn't work if you have internet directly on your iPad. So that's kind of just like the story that you had said. So that's it. But I love it. It does work. Oh, what does this say? Alan Pullen, thank you, James, for saving us many times on the printing. Yes. So let me speak to the industry in terms of printing, because I love that comment from Alan. Alan, I've helped out many times, and again, it comes down to knowledge. Do you mind if I share my screen? I don't know if that will help.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen here. Let me do this. All right. So wow, miraculously, I've got an event already set up and an iPad. Who knew?
Who knew?
This is incredible. So I'm going to go ahead and put two things on my desktop. Okay. I have an iPad that's right here. That's running right on the side of me. And I also have our print server.
I'm going to go full screen for everybody to see. There we go.
So this is our print server. Our print server is a lot different than others. It allows you to see all the photos that arrive here. Once you have the photo, you can reprint it. You can connect to multiple printers, etc. But with that being said, the way you connect to this, let me be very clear. It all comes down to the computers, and I'm going to pull it up, the host name for the computer. My host name is James MacBook Pro-211.local. That means that this is how our print server communicates. So in the back end of our app, and I'm going to go ahead and just put the app right here. I'm going to go in the back end. We have this printing area right here. You can see where it allows you to select a printer or test print. Now, over here, it says James MacBook Pro-211. As long as this name always matches, it will always print. Now, just to show you how fast, I'm just going to hit test print. See how fast that showed up? I'm going to hit test print. I'll just keep hitting it. The point is this is a direct wired connection directly from our iPad through the MacBook directly to the print server, which is the best method. Now, wireless, it works the same exact way. But the biggest issue that people have is, one, they've chosen the wrong printer because they've got, like me, 1 million printers, and they don't realize that their printer is offline, especially on Windows. When you disconnect it, it will duplicate a printer and call it copy of. But the idea is to be able to quickly take a picture and then print, which, let me go ahead here. I mean, this is my my ugly mug. Which here, I'll give you guys a few hints. Look at that. Oh, it's pretty cool. I love it. Now let's and that's not green. This is actually magic. But let's go ahead and just change the color. I'll go ahead and take a picture. 3, 2, 1. And just to show you printing. So boom. I'm going to hit print in 3, 2, 1. Print. Comes up that. And I hit print. And you see how fast it is up there already? Yep. So print. I can choose how many copies. It's already there. Print, print, print. And it'll just keep on printing. The reality is that printing is not hard. I think people don't put enough energy into learning or understanding what needs to be configured in order to make it work. If everybody could only understand that in printing that your host name simply needs to match whatever your computer host name is that's on the local network, it will always work. You won't have any issues. It's not firewall based. Okay. So that's printing. Printing wired, printing wirelessly. We have tons of people. Yes, you could do strips. Yes, you could do 4x6, 6x8, 6x6 square, etc. You could do all this. And I'll give you a small hint. You will have 3 new printing methods come January. The 3 new printing methods, one being a video, and the other one being a video. Yeah. And I'll leave it at that, which would be pretty cool.
It's funny that you say video because last weekend was my first weekend doing the wireless printing with Curator. I used the DNP module. And look at that. You just printed this out now?
Print your video.
Yes.
So 6x8. This is literally a print. So this is really cool. Allowing, again, really cool functionality. I'm not going to divulge too much. We'll be showing it off at PBX, but you'll have access to it in January. The reality is printing's not going anywhere, Art or Dave. We all know that. It's an upsell. It allows you to sell something to your client. You're going to make money off of that.
Yep.
If I can add something into the application, if Jesse can help, obviously add something to the application, which just letting you know, I'm not the only man behind the scenes here. It's actually Jesse. And we all like to – can we all just say thank you, Jesse? Because honestly, if it wasn't for Jesse, I wouldn't be here and none of us would be right now.
Oh,
he is the man.
I get this straight. You got Jesse, and you got James.
Jesse James?
I'm seeing a correlation. I don't know what. It could just be me.
I love it.
We're now going to call out Curator the outlaw of iPad software.
Oh my God, there it is.
Dave, you nailed it.
Official.
You just nailed my marketing. You nailed my marketing.
There's a slogan. Curator.
Jesse James. So yeah. So again, all right, going back to printing though. Listen, It's not hard to do.
Nope.
I mean, it's not.
You just got to work through it. Like everybody starts at square one.
So James, you were talking about using the router. So I do a lot of the roaming boosts, with the handheld iPad roamer, and that plugging into the router and having that network kind of set up, it makes it great because what you may not understand is it extends your range too, depending on your router. Instead of being close or having to be, within 25 feet or, whatever, you can now get 100 feet away from your printer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times where I've roamed around a banquet hall and I tell the people that kiosk that's over there on the side wall, with the little lights and things, you walk over there and by the time they walk over there, their print's already like 2 or 3 under, someone else's because, we just keep going around.
Yep.
I was working with somebody about with roaming photo booths, and one of the things that they asked was to be able to capture photos, roam around, capture photos, and then send the person to a sharing station to where they can print at that location. But what they wanted to have 4 sharing stations set up, connected to 4 different printers so that it was able to move the room around. But they also wanted to have multiple roamers roaming around the venue.
Wow.
So there's a technology that we have called Live Connect that allows you to essentially do that. Actually, not saying it allows you to do that, where you can run Live Connect on each one of the roaming iPads, connect them to one or many sharing stations, which if everybody doesn't realize this, sharing stations are included in our application. You're not paying extra for sharing stations. You're not paying extra for slideshows unlike other applications. So those are all included. You want to add 4 sharing stations? Go right ahead. Be my guest. And that's as of right now. But imagine being able to roam, no internet, and then walk up to another iPad, start Live Connect, and have all those photos just boop, right over to the other sharing station, and then people can start printing or having them go there. So even if you didn't have a network that was really a good network, you can make it work. There's a lot of technology inside. Again, it blows my mind. There's a lot of technology inside of our application that allows you to utilize the application in a way that works best for you and for your client. We have somebody right now over in Salt Lake City doing Santa photos with DSLR. Somebody had just asked about that. And what they did was they're using an iPhone to a T3 Canon phone, taking pictures, and they're actually doing something called pre-registration. So they have a QR code before the person even gets to see the photographer. The family member fills out a form, first name, last name, email address, phone number, all that. Then it gives the person a ticket for a free photo with Santa. They walk up to Santa. The Santa photographer says, "Do you have your QR code?" He scans it, takes a photo, hits done, and they walk away. And that's currently capable right now. So DSLR is something that is still in beta. DSLR is something that we did launch in beta last year at PBX, and we took a back seat because we started to work on some other things, which again, the other things I'll get into or may not get into. The DSLR is what we're planning on moving back to before PBX. So by PBX, that will be at a different level.
Yeah, Curator should have been all over these Santa setups around the whole U.S. Everybody needed to be taken. I wish I would have taken advantage of something like that this year. That's something I'm going to try and do next year. That's a really unique experience, being able to take your iPad and Curator and then a DSLR camera, set up in something like that. And actually, it's another revenue stream other than just your normal photo booth at a mitzvah or a wedding or a Sweet 16.
Well, Art, you said revenue stream. And everything that we look to add, we look at competitors, we look at all the rest of the apps that are out there. We're all doing the same thing for the most part. I mean, let's really call it what it is. But the question is are there those extra things that the app offers that allow you to upsell, to create an additional revenue stream? And that's where we have been focusing and will be pushing, because I want to be able to say to you, photo boother, that's even been on, photo boother X that's been in the industry for, 10 years or so. They've seen everything. They've done everything, but they use 10 different softwares to do everything. Yeah. So I want to be able to say, hey, you could do this one app, maybe a little bit of a cost, but you can easily offer it to your customers since you already have a photo booth there. What is an upsell? Is a slideshow an upsell? A sharing station an upsell? Printing can be an upsell. Maybe external lighting, just all of that could be upsells. Obviously, that's not with us, but my point is that they're all upsells. Right. So, yeah.
And it helps to streamline. You mentioned something about all these different apps that people use to make the business run. If you got it in one, it's a lot easier to streamline and to scale and easier to train your employees because it's one thing they've got to learn versus logging into this and logging into that and logging into this. So you guys are really helping out with that part of the situation as well.
We are. And, I look at some of the old DSLR booths and look at some of the technology and options that they offer. I mean, even up to lenticular photos and stuff like that. I mean, we're talking old school stuff, flip books, etc. The reality is it's like nobody's really reinvented the wheel with some of that older technology. It's kind of still the same. It's like, if you need to, I'm just trying to think, you got LA Photo Party, you got Pick Social, you got all the rest. Mm-hmm. They do have a certain niche. If you need a mosaic, you know who you're going to go to, And again, it's just another software. Maybe there's an integration with our software and somebody else's. But my point is, I love how Curator doesn't rely on preset templates. That is true. We don't. You can use any layout you want, anything, any size, any photo. And not to change the subject because I get sidetracked. Sorry, guys. My attention span is like this big when it comes to reading things. I know. Look, squirrel. Ooh, squirrel. Exactly. So, where was I at? I don't even remember what I was saying. So yeah, some of the older technology, we're looking at that and trying to figure out how to make some of the old things new again. And I think that's what everybody should look forward to. We did just show off quite a bit of stuff over at our last event over in Orlando. I know Rex saw a lot and did a few videos that he's holding on to. So
Rex has a really good video that actually piqued my interest. So what I'll probably end up doing is making sure, and Rex, if you're watching, I know you probably are, we should probably do a little post on Photo Booth Magazine about it. That was a really cool video. So we'll do that on there. So everybody go to photoboothmagazine.com like tomorrow or something like that, and I'll have a blog post with Rex's really cool video.
Very, very cool.
With you.
Yeah, it actually was really cool. Trying to think of, let's see. How can I transfer all my old digital props to the new Curator? Great question. We've actually downloaded, if I'm correct, into a Dropbox all the props that you can gain access to from the back end of the app. If you give us a call tomorrow, we'll assist you. Now, the props that you have uploaded, you will have to re-upload your own props up to that. And there's a reason why. It's just a whole new, so Dave, you made a stink about this when I first walked on this. You're like, I was talking about the website, and we first started with Pixbooth. Then we had the Curator Live app, or now we have the Curator Live app, and we had two iterations of
Pixbooth and Pixbooth 2.
Yes, then Pixbooth 2, and then Curator Live. And then we also had the first website Curator, then app.curatorlive, now my.curatorlive. And that's going to change. No, it's actually not going to change. That's going to stay mine. So thank God. But
just redirect them all to one. That's all.
It's happening. It's all happening. It's all happening this year. Thank God. One of the things that I'd like to say is thank you to all the customers that are out there, because they've been through all of this with us. And we don't have events go down. We've never, we don't lose photos, things like that. But they've been through our trials and tribulations of trying to figure out what is the right way to do it. And we've received a lot of feedback from everybody. And I remember going back, like I said, we had three different websites out there, but we're cleaning it all up and we're focused. This year is all about focus. 2023 is all about focus, cleaning it up, brand messaging, and making sure that everybody understands. Thanks, Dave. Wise ass. So everybody understands every function that we offer. Because again, there's a lot of functionality that people just don't realize. Good evening to the Facebook user. Yes.
So James, do you have? So it's evolved. So like where you were a few years ago as to where you are now, it's so evolved. Do you have like training videos, or is it all in the knowledge base, or what's an easy way for someone who's not familiar with the software to kind of learn it?
Okay, so actually, if you want to share my screen one more time, I'll go ahead and do that, Art.
Do it.
So first and foremost, there is a chat bubble at the bottom right. It's not going to pop up now, but there would be a chat bubble. You can book and schedule a one-on-one call with us. The other thing is we do have our knowledge base at the top right. Inside of that knowledge base, you will notice that we have a quick start self-guided video demos, get started, tools and integration, printing, and others. Now, if you go through the quick start, which is a quick start, gives you three options: digital only, digital and prints, and 360. If we just do digital only, and there's a reason why it's separate, there are up to, I think this one has 10 or 12 videos. Let me just make sure. 10, 11. Yeah, this one has 11 videos. And all of these videos that are not publishing right now because of our internet speed, there you go, you'll see it pop up. But we go through Curator Live web platform, how to create an event, creating an event page 2, page 3. We actually break it down by page so that you fully understand exactly how and what every option is, from digital props to magic, background removal, green screen, how to create custom microsites, branded emails, how to change the colors, hidden menu access on the app. I mean, some people just don't even realize that there's a hidden menu inside of the app that gives you access to a lot of things. Also, how to manage your queue. And then if you notice at the bottom here, it says video demo series follow-up call. We are more than happy after if you want, before or after, to do a call with you and just to touch base and make sure all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So by all means, jump on the phone. If you've never used this before, give us a test. We'll throw a trial your way. I'm happy to do that. in terms of the app itself is very easy to use. I mean, the reality is it's a little intimidating. You've got your events that show up here. You download them. You have a device management. We have a built-in speed test so that you can figure out whether or not you have speed on site at an event. That's 9/10 of a problem. You have a built-in queue system here to manage all the photos that have uploaded, haven't uploaded, are waiting to upload, so you don't lose any photos. You need to manage that. Video builder, layout builder, which are going to go bye-bye. We have Bluetooth controls from ATA, Mobi Booth, Mobile Max, Orca, Other A, which is a third-party Bluetooth controller that you can purchase, Pickbox, as well as one other. I can't mention that yet. And then you have the Live Connect, like I was mentioning to you before. Live Connect, just like it says, it allows you to have one device essentially act like a server and allow you to share photos, run a slideshow, or a sharing station without the need of internet, which is beautiful. But the beauty comes when you hit play. You get to choose how you want to run this event.
Yep.
Either as a photo booth, a DSLR, 360 slideshow, or sharing station. In this case, it's a photo booth. Okay. Now, obviously, this right here would be designed to do what you want. But this is, that's as easy. Hidden menu, back right. Again, we do offer event settings so that I hope I could say this, but we call these oh shit settings. Oh shit, I'm at an event, I don't have internet, and I need to make a quick change. So what do I do? This is where you would do that. Obviously, you can gain access to printing and other things here as well as your camera settings, which does allow you to use the ultra-wide camera if that iPad supports it, and chroma key if you're physically doing green screen. So if I actually pull this up, you should be able to see that that's green screen. If I change it to blue screen, it goes away. So yes, it does do green screen as well. So, but Dave, to go back and answer your question, if you sign up, you'll be sent an email with a link to the video series, as well as an email, a link to a calendar to book and schedule a one-on-one call with us. Few of the other things just to show you, people always ask about events and, how are they set up? I'm happy to show you the back end. I don't know if you want me to take a few minutes to do that. I don't want to bore everybody. Not
at all. We could definitely have some questions. So some of the folks out there, Tony, I hope I pronounce this Karai, or Karis, asked about, how do you get a printer to print wirelessly? So Tony, we do have this video that's being recorded. All our videos are being live streamed to YouTube. And then if you go to our YouTube channel, which is on photoboothmagazine.com, link to it from photoboothmagazine.com, you'll be able to see this video live, and also it stays there in the live section. So we're talking about, a lot of wireless.
Oh no, the poor guy was on fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the guy was. Did you see that? So that's actually augmented reality.
Yeah.
Well, that's augmented reality. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that you could do augmented reality, add objects such as fire in back of somebody as they're on a 360, or even as you're taking a photo. The ability to place virtual objects in back. I mean, again, I laugh at this. This is my beautiful daughter, Zella. I love her dearly. And you could see I was playing around in my kitchen with some emojis in the background, and she was getting a kick out of it. Obviously, we were just testing. But, again, being able to place things, or full body segmentation, like we said to you before, remove the background, and obviously he had something in his hand, but you get my point. Yeah. Being able to do some cool things like that. There's a lot of things. Again, there's a lot of functions. And I mentioned to you before the full body segmentation, which is really cool. That's in the app currently. Here's another one. This is virtual. This is all segmentation. So this is a boomerang. This is, the lights in the background is nothing more than just a little video that's playing. So that's segmenting it. And let's see.
James, that's a digital background, and then she also has a digital prop on her face, correct?
Well, actually, no. That was her prop. Yes, you could do that. The answer is, I mean, there's no different than here. Here's another lady right here. Let me actually share that. Here, let me share this one. Give it a second. So this person right here has a MP4 video in the background. You have an overlay. You have a digital prop on her as well. And so that is possible. It absolutely is possible.
Layer upon layer.
Yep, layer upon layer.
Yep.
Now, in terms of creating a lot of this, I mean, creating an event is as easy as just creating an event. test event,
Mhm.
test event.
So everything's not all roses. I mean, apps are not perfect, and things are going to happen. Electronics, connections, they're always, they're not foolproof. So somebody did ask, while printing, why does it kick me off and have a hard time reset? You have to rest the software at least, or reset the software 3 times, and that's understandable. So I'll let you handle that, James. Obviously, there's many things that can go wrong, right?
Well, resetting. So the majority of the time that a network resets is because your computer either loses power,
Yep.
the connection to the network turns off, which that is infamous on a PC. PCs, what they do, if you go into your power settings, it will literally say turn off network settings or turn off USB, even the USB port. You need to make sure that on a PC setting that you turn those settings off so that Windows doesn't automatically turn the network off, or the radio, I guess it's called, or the USB setting. And if those settings aren't, again, it comes down to knowledge. Once you manage that and you understand that those need to, be off, then you won't have any issues.
Yep.
Uh,
Another thing that I want to point out is they ask, why does the app crash? Every app, there's no app that is crash proof. You got Facebook itself is going to crash on you. My banking app crashes on me. Chrome crashes on me. So, Curator is not in any app. All of them, the snap pics, everybody's going to be susceptible to crashing at some point.
Well, let's say this. So every app does crash. We all know that. I mean, it's just the life of the beast. But I will say this: the 9 times out of 10, it's an iOS issue. So in other words, you're running, like, for example, you're running an iOS, like right now, I can't not tell you how many customers are running iOS 14 or even 13 still. It's not going to work if you're running iOS 13. They're on iOS 16.
Yeah.
We've updated our app probably 15 times over the past 15 months. You need to keep the iOS updated. That's number one. Number two, biggest issue right now is that people, and this happened during quarantine because they took their iPads that were using as photo booths and they gave it to their children. Their children took 1 million pictures and filled up the hard drive on the iPad. Yep. So now, and I want to be clear that your iCloud account, just because there's space on iCloud, does not mean you have space on your iPad. I can't tell you how many times customers are like, well, my iCloud account says that I have 20 gigs. That's not the device. The device physically needs to have memory on it. So clear that space out. Make sure you have enough room on there. Now, there was a bug, and I'll be transparent. There is a bug currently in the application, and that is the retake button. The retake button with the recent push of version 1.1.12 will cause the app to freeze, not crash. So if you uncheck that. Other than that, that is the only issue that we know that is known as of right now in terms of that happening. One of the other issue that we're noticing is that customers are trying to use literally iPads from 2016.
Yeah. I did that. It didn't work.
It's not going to work. It'll work, but it'll work really slow. At this point, if you're in business, go ahead and update your iPad. Get an iPad Pro. You'll be able to do a lot of the cool stuff. So yes, technology is not perfect, just like the human body. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I will say that. All right, let me say this: if you have an issue, just call us. It's typically fixable. It's usually a little, and sometimes it's like. We recently had somebody upload a overlay that was literally 20 sizes too large, and the app had a hard time bringing it down. And when I mean, I'm not talking about the file size, I mean the physical dimensions. It was like 22,000 by 18,000, some crazy number, pixels. It needed to be 1,800 by 1,200 or 1,200 by 1,800 pixels. So it caused the app to run harder than it would, and obviously it caused a crash. So that is, but that's an easy fix. So just call us. That's why we have the 800 number.
Yeah, nothing's perfect.
James, real quick. I know that there used to be an issue with the digital props before.
Yeah.
Like if you put too many on, is there like an amount now, or can you still?
Yes. So we have added an alert, and this goes for every app. So, we kind of have a no limit app, which means that you can add as much as you want. If you want to add 30 digital props, go right ahead. If you want to add 100 digital props, go for it. But understand that if you have an iPad that doesn't have any memory on it, it's going to cause a crash. Or if your iPad is really old and it can't hold that much, that many props in memory, then it's going to cause an issue. So what we've now done is if you add any more than 9 selectors, it will provide you with a warning. So we're giving all of our customers a warning, slap on the wrist, that basically says you could do this, but understand that the more you add, the larger the event is. So if you understand that you have an overlay, you have digital props. Each one of those props could, be a few megabytes. If you add 100 of them, that's 100 megs, which it's actually going to be larger. The app has to physically download it. And I don't know how many of you have tried to download a file and all of a sudden the internet goes out or something happens and then that file you got to restart up again. It's not a perfect science. So try not to bloat your event is what we typically like to say. And we put some warnings in place. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's being candid. It shines on, how genuine you are, James, and how the customer service that you provide and your whole team. I mean, you've got a user group on Facebook that I've seen people at events panicking because something happens, and they're on that Curator Facebook group asking questions, and everybody's jumping in and helping. So it's fantastic.
Well, think of it this way. Think of this. People always say, James, I'm always hearing that people are praising you and, they're all so happy. And here's the reason. I stand out front. I don't hide behind anything. If there's a bug or there's an issue, I'll jump out and be the first person to say it. And I'll be the first person to help you with it.
Yep.
And because people always remember how you fixed it, or how you didn't fix it. If I don't do something, that's going to give us, the company itself, a bad name. We've been in business now for almost 7 years. We're not going anywhere. We plan on sticking this thing out for many, many more years ahead. And honestly, I'd love to own the industry. I'd love to take on the big guys, and I would consider ourselves one of the big guys. If Craig Center is listening right now, because he has a Bluetooth issue right now, he's aware of this, and it is fixed. And I have an answer for him. So again, things like that, being able to get out front to your customers, and I think our customers really appreciate that. I don't think that, what's that saying?
They do.
Services.
They, just like myself, I'm a customer. Dave, we both appreciate everything that you do, James. See, they're out there. They're loving it.
Yep.
James, so I think I'm probably one of your first users, from way back when. And I got to say that, I enjoy it. My staff loves it. It's
Dave,
easy enough for Kenny McConnell to use, so, he can understand it. I had to throw that out there because I know he'll watch this at some point in time.
I love Daddy.
Yeah.
Look, see, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I love it. I live for my customers. I do, and I love it, and I respect it. Dave, going back to first PBX, I just remember taking a step back. Everybody was like, "Hey, man, how's the show? How's the show?" And I just remember saying, "It's the first time in my life that I feel so humbled." Because, and I work every day at saying that because I'm humbled to have the customers that we have, and respect all of your businesses and treat them as if it was my own business, and that's the truth.
Dave, this is a story. James, I don't know if you remember this, but at that PBX, I mean, I used your software a couple times, and you spent probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, training me on the ins and outs of the software because I was using it wrong. I was thinking, I'm pretty smart. I figured some things out, and you're like, no, you need to do it this way. And once you did that, it just opened up the program so much that it made it easy to understand. And like I said, back then you were one of the only ones. There were a couple other ones, some of which are no longer in business anymore.
True.
So.
Well, Dave, it's funny you say that because I remember I was talking to somebody that was jumping over from Darkroom. This is the way I always tell people. if you're coming from Darkroom or you're coming from one of our other competitors that might have come before us that maybe based their entire technology off of the way Darkroom did it, because I will give props to Darkroom. They've been around. They're the king of the hill. I will say that. And in terms of DSLR, let me be very clear, DSLR, not iPad. I'll say that. But in terms of that, what I like to tell people is you need to think differently when you're using our application, because we didn't build it based off of the way everybody used to do it. We thought about it and created something different and new. So when you're building an event, don't build an event as if you're building it in Darkroom. Build it as if you're building it in Curator and have an open mind, because I promise you, you're going to create some awesome shit.
Hallelujah.
Sorry. Hallelujah.
So James, just to kind of go back, how did Curator come about? Give us a little history.
Great question, actually. Okay. Well, I have 3 partners, if you don't know that already. One partner is Jesse. Again, he is the man behind the app, so let's just props to him. And he is iOS. He was introduced to me through my other partner, Todd. Todd has taken a back seat of the application and has actually opened up his own development training school. So he actually has a school. He heads the school up. He's doing fantastic, and he trains human beings to be developers, and he's awesome. They're all awesome. So at the time, I was talking with Todd, had an idea, brought it to him. It was something like Curator. It was a little bit different. And we, within a few days, Todd and Jesse kind of got together. I didn't know Jesse really at the time. He introduced me to Jesse. One thing led to another. We had other conversations. And the thing that I needed built was actually for another client. And after it was built, we were left with this code, which essentially is Curator, or back then was Pixbooth. And we were left with this app that took photos, and it was green screen, actually. Our first app was actually green screen. It wasn't even Curator. It was green screen. And we were like, all right, what do we do with this? And we put our heads together and decided to move forward, and let's create an app. I think we have something that we can offer the photo booth community that can really, and again, help entrepreneurs, that can really help entrepreneurs grow their business. And to this day, that was literally, I remember that call. It was Todd, Jesse, and I on the phone. Why are we doing this? We're doing this to help entrepreneurs grow their company, period. That's what we're doing. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that there was value in it. And we did. And that's, heck, I remember when we launched, I remember looking at every photo that would come in. I kid you not. Every single photo. We watch every single one. Now, I mean, here's a fun stat for you. We can have anywhere from 30 to 50 photos a second come in on a Saturday.
That's
a stat. That's a hell of a stat. So, I can't look at the photos and videos fast enough. I would never be able to. It's not physically possible. We operate in a little over 120 countries. People don't realize that. We're worldwide. We recently just added a toll-free number in the UK because our UK business grew that much. So we're very excited in that sense. So, there's, I'm looking forward to January. I'm looking forward to PBX because we're looking forward to launching quite a new functionality that, again, will add value and give everybody, all the entrepreneurs that are out there, all the photo booth companies out there, the ability to help them promote their business and offer new functionality. So, yes.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yes, there is a free trial. If you'd like a free trial, you sign up for a free account. When you're on the call, just say, James told me I can have a free 30 days.
That's easy.
And the answer is yes, you would. I'd be happy to. And we can absolutely do something for Photo Booth Magazine to make, to track that as well. But yes, you absolutely provide trials.
Well, we've got a lot of questions sitting here on the chat.
Go for it. I'm not even seeing them.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I kind of held off because I didn't want to have a squirrel moment.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even see that there. My apologies, guys.
Oh, that's okay.
I will go through these. Let's see. This just reminded me to take advantage of the year subscription. Yes, take advantage of it. Beauty filter, again, something that is coming soon, sadly. Rex is aware of that. Rex also, what did he say? Magic Screen. Yes, Magic Screen is now full body. And yes, guys, I am drinking an orange drink because my wife told me I had to stay on brand, so it is an orange drink. Rex, as well as Yeah. Hilarious. I love it. What other questions are there? Because I'm not really seeing it because of my screen.
Oh, James, someone asked about how do they get their props and backgrounds from the old version into the new, which you kind of touched base with.
I'll listen. Yep. When we started, James saved us countless times while at the event. We have learned so much. And let me give a shout out real quick to Allie. I don't think she gets a lot of recognition. She spends a lot of time with a lot of our customers. Dave, I'm sorry, was and will always be our first customer ever. She was literally the first person to use, one of the first people to use the app. And she brags about it all the time.
I'm the first. I'm just one of that group of, people.
Well, you are definitely the group though, but she, just so everybody knows, she's got 20 plus photo booths. She's got permanent installs. She is a wealth of knowledge. And if you do get a chance to do an online demo with her, pick her brain because she will take your business to the next level, period. Okay, so you will also see her at PBX. But yes, she is freaking awesome. So let me make sure I say that.
Well, maybe we get her on at some point.
Absolutely. I think it'd be a great idea. I think that would be
Q&A with her too. I mean, because that's another thing. We want to help the folks that are watching this. There's veterans and there's people in the middle and then there's people in the very beginning. All of us can benefit from that wealth of knowledge. So absolutely, anytime you want to ask her, Allie, if you're watching, we'd love to have you on so we can do a Q&A.
She's watching.
And anybody that is watching, if you ever have questions, you can always reach us, on the Photo Booth Magazine or the Photo Booth Network or, any of the groups Curator. If you have questions, anything industry-wide, between the three of us, we have at least 5 or 10 years of experience, if not more.
I'd say more than that. Between all of us? I mean, look at James' beard. Come on.
I didn't have gray hair when I started this. Oh, actually, I think ho, ho, ho. I love it, Art. Let me point something out because there were 2 other questions here. One person, it was talk about the new Magic. It's amazing. Again, I can't stress that enough. I would recommend that you test it. But somebody also asked, thinking about switching. Don't think and don't switch. First, don't switch during the fourth quarter. If you have events already planned, keep using what you're using. You know it. Don't, as a business owner, I would recommend that you don't do that. But what I would recommend that you do is get a free trial. And I would recommend that you test and try. And I would be happy to help you with that because, and I'll be the first, like I said, to say, don't switch. Never do that at the peak of business. None of us, including myself, which is another reason why we don't launch new things in December. We protect everybody. And I'm trying to protect you as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it looks like we are at an hour. If you want to keep going, we can go on, or we can take a break. Until next week.
What do you want to do? It's up to you. What do you guys want to talk about? I'm game.
We got more questions from the crowd. Anybody?
You want to share? Anybody have any other questions?
James, I'm reading like a lot of these comments, and most of them are saying James has bailed my ass out a lot. So I'm just, that holds a very strong testament to your product.
It does. I can't tell you how many phone calls that I've had. Hey, James, and again, going back to the green screen conversation I just had, she literally called. She's like, I don't know what to do. It's my 4th event. I don't want to lose this customer. Green screen, what could you do? I was like, let me help you. No charge. Boom. Yep. Somebody calls us up and they spelt the name wrong on a wedding, on an overlay. Hey, do you have the PSD? No, I don't. All right, let me see what I could do really quick. Let me at least take it off or whatever it is. Let me quickly help you. And if I can, I will. I don't need to be paid for that stuff because I'm in business with you. You're paying me already to use the application. So if I'm available, I'm going to help you. 2 a.m, if you're like, hey, my texts aren't going out, I'm willing to pick up the phone and basically be like, well, let's do a speed test. 9 times out of 10, that's the issue. Let's figure it out because I don't want you. I know how it's been. I was at an event. I was at events. I did events. I was that person frustrated as hell because the software didn't work or because the electricity goes out or the network goes out or somebody puts a fist through your iPad and you're like, shit, how do I unlock this device and put the app on another device? That happened. Which actually is one of the reasons why I built the system where you don't have to unlike your device. Yeah. You can download the Curator app on 1 million iPads.
Yep.
Go right ahead. We manage it on our end. It allows you to grow your business. And if you have that issue, you're not going to have that issue. So, yeah. But thank you. I love our customers. I really do. But,
somebody posted a question. For a 360 station, should you use an iPhone or a mini iPad?
I recommend the mini. Let me kind of give you a reason why. One, the phone does work great. I'm not saying it doesn't. I personally like an iPad mini, and I like the iPad mini because what I have found is if you use the QR code pre-registration, that is where they sign up before they even get on the 360, which basically they scan a code on their phone. They're on their phone. They scan a QR code. They enter in their email address, their phone number, and then it gives them a ticket to ride the 360. They walk up to the iPad. It says, scan your QR code here. They scan the QR code. The next person scans. The next person scans. They get on a 360. They hit start. It spins around, and then they hit done. The iPad mini's got a great processor, processes fast. It's actually got a faster GPU than a typical iPad Pro, from my understanding. And I like it that it's not as big as an iPad, but it's small enough to where it just looks like some sort of a screen. People don't look at it and they're like, oh, is that an iPad? No, because it's literally just a little bigger than a phone. So personally, I like it. I also like using the front-facing camera because it's a 12-megapixel camera. That's me. Although there are a lot of people that do use the new phones. The new phones kick ass. I will say that 40 meg, camera is incredible. But also understand we're going to dumb down that video a little bit so that somebody can share it. Videos, you don't want a huge video. We don't want a 30 megabyte video. The customer will never be able to download that. They'll have issues on site. So we got to get it down to the sweet spot, which is roughly 10 to 20 megs. Yeah. So that was the question.
Yeah. Then was one other question I think we touched on where you might have hit was if they have their assets already uploaded in there and they want to remove them, how do they remove them?
So January, you could do that now. If you click on assets, you can go through the categories on the right-hand side and delete them. But if you wait till January 9th, that entire page is completely redone. What it's going to do is, actually, you want me to show you? I'll just show you.
Yeah, I got a peek earlier. Yeah. I think I didn't want to assume, but yes, let's please take a look.
No, that's fine. So you will be able to come January 9th, let's just say overlays and all this other stuff. You'll notice there's a lot of stuff from Photo Booth Graphics. You will be able to multiple select and then either deselect or select the entire page. And you can either delete one individual one or all of them. It's up to you. That's so fine. You will absolutely be able to do this. That you could do this for everything that you have here. And actually, I think this will give you some good, as well as email templates, microsites, banners. You're going to have full access to be able to customize everything that's here. It's actually pretty damn cool. Here. Yeah, we'll leave that alone. And that's enough. All right. I think that's it.
That's cool. Yeah. That's amazing. The functionality on that, I'm excited. I can't wait to get my hands on that.
January 9th, that's the goal. That's where we're at.
Mark it in the calendar.
You obviously have full access to the site. Yep. Site works, app works, no issues. We just have the newer functionality and some things that you'll like.
Yeah. That I'm sure we're going to love.
You will.
Well, we've hit about an hour. I know we talked about it earlier, but I know that we should probably wrap it up. Been a long day.
So Art, yep. This is our 13th show.
No, it's our 14th.
We had James on the 13th. Now, 13 is a lucky number for some people. So
sure.
I feel pretty lucky that we had James.
I think
none of us lost power,
Dave. I think we avoided the unlucky number for James. Number 13 was me by myself. Did last week I talked about Google. So I took a hit for the team. Yeah, that was 13.
This is 14?
This is 14.
Oh wow. Oh, that's right.
Well, I will say this. Art, Dave, thank you very much for inviting me on here. It's been great. I wish I was able to do it, obviously, a few weeks back. I truly respect both of you. I look forward to a 2023. And if you're PBX, obviously, I look forward to that. So thank you. I think we're all blessed. Thank you.
James, thank you so much.
James, I do truly want to say your support of the photo booth industry with what you do is supporting the different platforms out there, like, photo booth marketing, Mastermind. I know that you're one of the major sponsors for Mastermind,
We are.
and PBX forever. You really have done a lot to help move our industry forward, and from someone who's used your software and as a friend, I just wanted to say thank you for all that you've done
Thank you.
for everything in this industry. So
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I really do. And again, it's not me, it's the team, but I truly do appreciate it.
but you're the face of the team, so because everybody sees James.
I know.
We don't see the other ones at the events. We see James.
True. I got the ugly mug. It's all good.
So
I appreciate it, Dave. I really do.
So what do we have coming up next week?
Yes, we have Alan Berg is going to join us next week, and I had a chance to have a conversation with him, and we're going to talk about reviews and how important that is, and also it'll probably stem into customer service too, because he's like so amazing to speak with. So next week we're going to have Alan Berg on the show.
That's awesome.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, amazing. So it should be definitely tune in. And just reminding for those who are watching, we do have the YouTube channel, which this is going to be on, and it's live streaming right now on there. So as it's streaming, it's being saved. So go to photoboothmagazine.com. We've got a link to the YouTube channel there. Go to Photo Booth Network on Facebook group. And always,
if you go to YouTube, please remember to subscribe and like the video and share it, because that helps us grow, and YouTube will help promote us a little bit more, and we're trying to get this out there. I mean, we're only 14 episodes. I thought 13, but it's 14. But we want to get this to 1 million episodes. We want to be we want everybody to know who Art and Dave and James are. So
yeah, and we're trying to get all the information. There's so many Facebook groups out there, and these questions get asked, but they get buried by the next question or the next kind of just thing that happens on Facebook. And so we're trying to help bring all that stuff into one centralized location, so you're not scrambling. It's a wealth of knowledge. And James, you've been a huge help to that. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, James, thank you so much. And
thank you guys.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Closing it out.